First of all, as you know, every day, maybe in financial market and TV presentation, you see about the credit default swap, the 10-year treasury yield of United States market, interest rate hike probability of the Federal Reserve government. But these are really macro. But in the kitchen, how the meal is prepared, it is in microeconomics. So you cannot build a model. You cannot speak about the macroeconomic topics without knowing how it is price dynamics, how it is household and consumer dynamics coming from the microeconomics. So let me pass the first assumption of the perfect competition. The first assumption, by the way, I'm sure nobody like to memorize something. Okay, this is the reality of the world. But like maybe you took the math course in high school, in undergraduate degree or in master degree you have, and in that math course, you don't have to know the differential equation, but you should have to know that how the multiplication is now made. So this is like a summation or multiplication. You should know the main assumption. So why this is important? If you see a price dynamics or if you see a market with the assumption, you will directly understand this is a perfect competition or not. First of all, the first priority, the first main assumption is the perfect competition is a large number of buyers and sellers. Why this is important? Buyers, okay, but seller side is so important. Why? As you know, if you enter a country or if you enter a market, you can sell everything to whole population. So your buyers will be a huge numbers. So you will not sell one good to one household. So buyer will be numerically really high. But sellers is the important side of the perfect competition. Why does it matter? If you have only one seller, or if you have a cartel that the only 2 or 3 person or 2 or 3 companies selling or serving some goods, this couldn't be a perfect competition. So first, you should understand that large number of buyers and sellers should be in the market in perfect competition. And perfect capital mobility. Why does it important? For instance, you are in, let's say, in Canarian Islands, and you want to send the money to the Turkey or to France or Spain. And if you have capital restriction in your country, this couldn't be a perfect competition again, because no company, no seller, no big supplier will not enter this region to make that market a perfect competition. Why? If they enter to your market and if they earn money, they will not send that money to their host country. Okay, this is important. Perfect capital mobility should be held in that place. And third one, no entry barriers. Each firm can enter and exit from the market without any restriction. Why this is important? Let's say in this team, 3 of us tried to establish a company or a sector, let's say clean wash or cleaning house products in a country, and we build up an oligopoly model. We will see those details in next slides. But let's say we will try to build up an oligopoly model. We are only 3 buyers. If we are only 3 buyers, we put restriction to enter or exit from the market, because everybody, if everybody entering to market, will decrease our profit. So we will not, in this market, lots of buyers and sellers if we are in a oligopoly or monopoly. So there should be no barriers to enter or exit from the market. And one of the most important one is identical products. Just think the toothpaste. Okay. For instance, maybe you know lots of toothpaste brand we have all over the world, like P&G products, Ipana, Signal, Colgate, those type of different products are exactly have same function. They are cleaning our teeth, right? Exactly same product. Just maybe a little bit differentiation in their product, a small differentiation. But even if there is product differentiation, this couldn't be a perfect competition. Just think. So everybody now understand, I think, to find a perfect competition product is also so hard. So let me give an exact example. Oil, gasoline. So if you are taking a gasoline, even in Kuwait, even in Iran, even in Iraq, even in Russia, even in Canada, when you go to with your car in that country, you can directly use that oil product because they are exactly the same. Okay. So the product should be exactly same in perfect competition. And the last one, by the way, all these assumptions are interconnected to each other. The last one I should mention, so importantly, no asymmetric information about the products and services. Why? Buyers and sellers have same information about the goods and services. Why this is important? I know everybody has an idea about this, but you don't have to right now to simulate an interview in the presentation, but let me give a direct example to you. You have a car, okay? And you have a dramatic accident with this car 2 years ago. And traffic police didn't take any report and record on this accident. And you go to repair center and you rebuild your car again. Okay, no record for the product, no accident record for the product, and your car is exactly same as it is 2 years ago. And you want to decide your product, sell. You want to sell this car to any customer. And one customer is coming to you and supposing that there is no problem in this product. There is no accident, no paint, no crash in this product. The buyer doesn't know anything about this product. But as the owner, you exactly know that you have an accident with this car and this is a problem. This will decrease your price of the car, the service you sell, you try to sell. So buyer doesn't know the accident, but seller know the accident. This is the asymmetric information. And this will change the price dynamics, demand and supply condition in perfect competition. So if there is a product, if there is a services, if there is something in the market, buyers and sellers should know everything exactly same with symmetric information. Okay. And last one, there is no market power in the current market. Each firm is price taker rather than a price maker. So one of the guys in this presentation decided to enter the Russian market to sell the oil product. So you are only one of the seller in that country and you never change the price. You will always be price taker, the price in the market. You will never decide the price on the market. And this sentence is so important, ladies and gentlemen. If we deviate from one of these assumptions, then we will face the market failures. And market converts into either imperfect competition or monopoly. So please look at these. And if one of these assumptions does not hold in our country, in our market, then we will say that there is a market failure in this country, in this market, and market will not be a perfect competition anymore. It will either imperfect competition or monopoly. Okay. And you can see here from the forms of the market, this is the perfect competition. If we are not in perfect competition, we are either in imperfect competition or monopoly. So one of the example of the perfect competition, oil market, exactly same product. You can enter the market without any entrance barrier. Every buyers and sellers have symmetric information. So oil products can be a good example of the perfect competition. But let's say, what about the imperfect competition? Imperfect competition is monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and duopoly. Oligopoly, we have 2-3 buyers and sellers in the market. Okay, 2-3 sellers, not buyers. Buyers are again so large, but sellers are about 3, 2, or above until 5. Think this: Google, Apple, IBM, technology giants. These are like 5 big sellers around the world. Others are small. Nothing important for the price or market dynamics, demand supply condition. Apple, Google, IBM control the markets. This is oligopoly. But let's say duopoly. What is duopoly? Duopoly, sometimes it is called with the economist Cournot, who is living in France in the 18th century, Cournot duopoly, like Visa and MasterCard. All around the world, 2 companies get huge profit and whole market share from the market. This is duopoly. Sometimes Cournot duopoly, just 2 firms. And monopolistic competition. Now, you don't have large number of buyers and sellers in monopolistic competition like in perfect competition, but also you don't have small numbers of firms or buyers. You have a little bit large firms, but not hugely large, like the cola company, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, or different brands of cola. And the last dramatic one is monopoly. What does it mean? Only one seller around the world, one producer and one seller. This is also so hard to find an example because every product has an alternative or substitution. But we can try to find another answer for the monopoly for the market. And let me start my presentation and continue with demand. What is demand? Demand is this. Please try to read the highlighted here. Demand can be defined as the will, the want, supported by purchasing power. So all desire or will is not considered as demand. So if you want to buy something, this is not demand, ladies and gentlemen. You should have enough purchasing power, money, or budget to buy something. This will considered as demand. Okay, this will be considered as demand. And the law of demand, you should memorize this. Okay, you should memorize this. The inverse relation between price and quantity demand of a good. In other words, as the price of the good rises, the quantity demanded decreases. If you are a logical and rational person, and if I say that the price is 10, what is your demand today? You can say that I need 100 items with price $10. But if I say to you, price increases $100, you will not get 10 items or 100 items again. The quantity you demanded decreases as the price increases, as you see here in this chart. Please look at this chart. When the price is 10, the buyers is getting 25 items. But when the price increases to 20, it is decreasing its demand to 20. When the price increases 30, the demand decreases 15. And when the price is increased 50, 60, the price almost decreases to around 5. The law of demand is saying if the price increases, I will decrease my demand. Okay, I will decrease the inverse relation between price and quantity demanded. But please look at this sentence. Is there any exception for this law of demand rule? This is not a high judiciary rule, right? In economics, we have flexibility. We have law of demand. When the price increases, demand should be decreased. But could you give an example, or do you think, is there anything in the world, the price is increasing, but you increasing your demand? Could it be happen? Yes, this can be happen. This can be happen because this happened in United Kingdom in 18th century when the famine started in that country. And price of potato increased, but everybody demanded more potato every day. So just think this. We have 100% of goods. 99% of that goods are normal goods. Okay, normal. What does it mean, normal goods? Normal goods is this. If the price increases, I'm decreasing my demand. But in that 99, we have only 1% of goods. It is called, please memorize this, given goods. Okay, given goods. If the price increase, the demand for given goods increasing. How does this happen? This is happen if that good is a huge proportion in your budget. Like you need that good to be alive. Okay, just think this. You are in an island. You lost yourself in an ocean. You have in an island. You have $100, and in that island you have only one glass of water. Let's say in the cabin. And when you demand that water, he is saying that the price of water is $2. Okay, and you are taking that one glass, and after 8 hours you are getting thirsty and you need to additional water. And even if they say one glass of water $5, you will get it, trust me. So even price increase, to be alive, you will increase your demand. So as I say, this is so exceptional case. Okay, so exceptional case. But please don't think that not always when the price increase, demand decrease. In some exception, like in different goods, we can increase our demand when the price increase. And please look at here. I know everybody doesn't like the math, but this is even not math. This is basic equation. Okay, this is a basic equation. And this is saying this. A basic demand function in this form. This is my price. This is my autonomous consumption in that book without independent from the prices. And this is my slope, my sensitivity of the price to quantity, how it change when the quantity or price change. This is showing the sensitivity, quantity. This is slope, and this is the quantity demanded. Look at the definition. P is the price, Q is the quantity demanded, and B is the slope of the demand curve. Look at this line, this demand line directly here. It is passing through here, and this B is the tangent of this angle. Okay, tangent of this angle. Delta change over this side over this side. So it is delta over price, delta over quantity. Okay, this will give our slope. And for this term, every time, I know everybody can easily solve this equation, but what is the B here? B is here. This is 10, always 10. Look at this. Always this vertical line is 10, 10, 10. And this is here approximately 2. So 10 over 2. This is my slope. This will be my demand. So in this slide, you should memorize the law of demand. And there is an exception for this. And demand can be summarized as will supported by purchasing power. And the price, when the price increases, the demand will decrease. So please look at this one. What affects demand? Price of a good. This is the first. As the price increases, demand will decrease on that goods and services. And the income of a person. This is also important. Why? As the income of a person rises, the demand for a good either increases or decreases. This is not like price. When the price increases, demand always decreasing. But when the income increase, the demand increase or decrease. if the demand increase with the increase in income, we call that those goods as superior goods. And if the demand decrease for the income increase, we call that good as inferior good. Let me give an example for this. You are a poor guy. You have only $10 in your pocket, and you have only to be alive consuming the potato, but you get bored the taste of potato. You don't want to consume potato. And if your if your income increase, you will never consume more potato. You want to taste the beef steak, the delicious food. So the potato for you is inferior. But let's say, so when my income increases, my demand for potato, my demand for inferior good is decreasing. But let's say I have a consumption like a 1-week holiday in Koh Samui Island, but I don't have enough money to go there. If I have enough money, I will increase my demand for that holiday. So this is a superior for me. Okay. So if my income increase and if I increase the demand for that product or services, this will be superior good. And with the income increase, if I decrease my demand for that product, this will be considered as inferior. And price of substitute good. Please carefully listen this case. This case is so important. Why? Because perfect substitute and perfect complements are most important, one of the most important topics in microeconomics. What is substitute? Substitute is alternative goods, okay, like tea and coffee, okay, like jean and t-shirts, okay, those are substitute goods. As the substitute goods price rise, the demand for that goods increase because now the good in our basket is relatively cheaper to consume compared to substitutes. Let's say you have two different coffee, okay, two different coffee brands. Let's say you are going to Starbucks and you are going to a local coffee center, okay, and they are producing same coffee for you, okay. Two brands, one is Starbucks and one is a local shop. And let's assume that the price of Starbucks coffee is increasing directly in one day. So if that coffee gives the same taste for you, you will never buy the coffee from Starbucks. You will go to local center of the coffee. So if the substitute goods price increase, you will increase your demand for other products. Okay, you will increase your demand other products. If this price go up, you will increase your substitute price and the substitute demand. And price of complementary goods. What is complementary goods? Complementary goods is like this. This is a glass, right? And the window of and this side is complementary. This side is nothing without. Okay, these are complemented to each other. So you cannot consume in complementary goods one good alone. You should consume that at the same time. Okay, without alone, it is nothing. So as the complementary goods price rises, the demand for that good decrease. Because if I increase the price of this glass, you will never need for this product anymore. You will also decrease the demand for this product. Okay, so if the price of the complementary goods rise, your demand will decrease for that. An expectation. This is one of the most important cases. Let's say Dr. Walchin expecting that he has a money in his pocket. He wants to buy a car. Okay, let's say it is BMW, which is a German car products brand. And let's say the product is approximately $50,000 in your country. But from the news, from the market condition, you're hearing that in a few months, car and their products price will decrease in a near future. So Dr. Walchin will never buy that product today. because he knows that in next period, the price will decrease. So he will also decrease his demand for the car today. Okay, expectation is important in demand. And this is supply. Please look at the curves. Price and quantity again. And price is increasing now with the quantity sell. And supply can be defined as unit of products, services for each level of price to be sold. So in $2, you are selling 4 products. And if you are a producer and if price is going up $6, you can directly increase your unit of selling that products and services. So the law of supply described as the increase of production as the price of that good and services increase. Please think demand and supply working in vice versa. Demand saying this, if price increase, I will decrease my demand. And supply saying the reverse. If price increase, I will sell more products. Price and quantity supply change in same direction. And same function. What is difference here? Look at this function, please. Look at this function. Everything is same, but here just we have minus. But here we have plus. Because quantity change in same direction, positively with the price. Okay, so again, my B is slope of the supply curve. And what affect what? Supply condition and supply function. Price of good again. As the price increase, I will sell more. The price increase, supply increase. The price of inputs or factor of production. What does it mean? You are selling a price, right? You are selling a product. Let's say a chip, computer chip you are selling. And you are using some inputs to produce those chips. With the input cost with $1, you are selling your products with $3. But let's say input cost to produce that chip is increased $2. Could you sell that last product as $3? No, because your cost is increasing, your input is increasing. So you will increase your last product price. So as the price of input rise, this means that cost is increasing to produce that good and supply will decrease. Okay. And developments in technology. As the technological progress improves, this will decrease unit labor cost or total production cost to that one, and supply will increase. What does it mean? Let's say we are producing a car. Okay, 5 workers produce a car in 10 days. Okay, 10 days. So every day I'm giving a wage for five workers every day. And in 10 days, I'm giving approximately 50 wage. And let's say my car producer start to produce those car automobiles in an automation process, robotic process. And let's say these robots will produce same car in 1 hour. So I will never pay more labor and wages. So I will increase because my cost is decreasing, so I will increase my supply. Okay, I will sell more products to the market. Price of alternative goods. If the price of Y increase, to produce Y becomes more profitable and the production of X will decrease. Let's say you are a governor of a factory, and in this factory you are producing 2 goods. Okay, one is, let's say, shoes, and second is pantalon. Okay, in this factory you are producing 2 goods, shoes and pantalon. The price of shoes 3 years at the same, but let's say China increased the demand for pantaloons for your product, and the price of pantalon increased 2 times higher. So you will now not produce more shoes. You will focus and centralize in to produce pantalon, because to produce it is more profitable for you anymore. So supply is also related with alternative good prices. And the last one, tax and subsidy on goods and services. Let's say we have a product like electricity, okay, like electricity. And if at the top, this is the final price, and this is the input cost. From the input cost, I'm putting input, I'm adding labor wage, I'm adding production process, I'm adding tax, I'm adding value addition tax, and I reached final price. Okay, this is input price, and this is final price. And let's say government decided to increase the value added tax on that product from 18% to 30%. So to produce that product will be not more profitable for you anymore, because your profit will decrease because you are paying tax on it. So you will decrease your supply on the left-hand side. Supply will decrease. And the equilibrium condition. The equilibrium in the market happens in this case. Please look at this. Demand, as you see the demand, and this is the supply. When the demand equals to supply, we have price and quantity equilibrium in these markets. And please try to read these sentences. Equilibrium occurs always as the supply equals demand. Let's say we are here. Please look at the graph. Let's say we are here, in this point, just here, here. Could this be an equilibrium? No. Here, I have excess supply, but not enough demand. So here I have excess supply, huge supply. So this will not be an equilibrium. Demand is low and supply is high here. So price will go down. Let's say here, I'm here. Can it be equilibrium here? No, I have excess demand here. Demand is here, but supply is here. Lots of demand I want, but there is not enough supply or product in the market. So price will go up. So I will reach this equilibrium. Okay. The price that brings us to demand equals supply condition is called as market clearing price. What does it mean? In market clearing price condition, there is no excess supply or excess demand in the market. This is the market clearing price condition. And if we have price higher or lower than the equilibrium prices, here or here, in this case, we have either government intervention to the market, because sometimes we can have an earthquake or famine in our country and demand can go up, but there is no supply in the market, and government will intervene to the market condition in this case. So price ceiling and price flooring or taxes or subsidies, government regulates the market to bring the price to equilibrium price again. The main reason behind this intervention are compensation of loss in producer or consumer surpluses. Okay. And we will cover those intervention detail in next chapters. Okay. I will, in next classes, I will enter the tax, subsidy, price ceiling, price flooring, and you will understand why government intervene to market, why they are increasing the taxes. So why they are saying that there is this is the price ceiling here, and you will not sell this product above this price. Why this is important? Why government takes this type of decision? You will understand those methodologies in the next chapters as well. And producer surplus, this is a good topic for us. We have an equilibrium price in the market, okay, and which is clearing demand and supply condition. For each producer, we have also a market equilibrium price and a price that is lowest for producer to sell that product. Please look at here. This is the market clearing price, but this P1 is equilibrium price, but this PM is the lowest price that this producer sell this product. Why this is important? If this producer sell this product below the PM price, he will get loss, everything. Okay, he will lose his company. He will not get profit. So the difference between this P1 and PM will give us the producer surplus function. So as the market equilibrium price rise, producer surplus rise. Let's think that my market prices is not here. By the way, what is the producer price, producer surplus here? The area of this rectangle. Okay. No. Our area of this here, this shaded area. Okay. And let's say my market clearing price, equilibrium price rising. So producer surplus will rise because it will increase my shaded area. Okay. And let's say, what is the consumer surplus? Consumer surplus is, we have an equilibrium price in the market, which is clearing demand and supply condition here, as you see. And this is the highest price that a consumer wants to this. And this is the equilibrium price. The shaded area between highest price and the equilibrium price is the consumer surplus. Okay. And please look at this definition. I'm knowing that some algebra, some calculus, some those type of math really get boring to you. But trust me, math is the language of the life. If you don't know math, you will never understand anything. Trust me. You will speak from your stomach, not from your brain, if you don't know the math. Okay, so math is the life and language of the life. Okay, please look at this. Price, quantity, demand is D, supply is S, total revenue is price times quantity. Okay, what does it mean? I have 5 products and each product has $3. If I sell all of them, 5 times 3, quantity times my price will give my total revenue. Okay, this is my total revenue. So what is my average revenue? If I divide this total revenue to quantity, so let's say I have 5 products, but let's say 2 of them is $3, and let's say 3 of them has $5. So my average revenue can change according to that function. So if I divide my total revenue this to quantity, I will get at the end my average revenue, the price. And the cost, please look at this table carefully. The cost function, ladies and gentlemen, this is, please look at this one. The cost, I write it in here as average format, but please look at this side. TC, this is total cost. If I have a total cost, these have 2 categories. One coming from fixed cost. You never changed it. Please think this. You want to build a company in the city center, okay? And the price of the land in that area is $1 million. This is fixed cost for you. You will never change that $1 million. But let's say you will buy 100 lamps to light the rooms in that building. And one of the lamp producers saying that this lamp has $2 and this is the price of lamp $3. As the quality change, price of the lamp change. This is your variable cost. As something change, your cost is changing. Fixed cost never change. It is always there. But the variable cost is changing. Okay. And average total cost, when I divide here everything with quantity, this will give my total cost function or quantity, average fixed cost or cross average variable. Okay, I'm just dividing this function to quantity, average fixed cost plus average variable cost. And cost function average in average format will convert it into this. And what is my marginal revenue? Marginal revenue, ladies and gentlemen, please look at this. This is my total revenue. I'm multiplying my price and I'm multiplying it with quantity, and this is my total revenue. If I take, I know everybody take undergraduate degree derivation course, but you can change, you can think this delta and delta. You can think this marginal revenue as the first derivative of the total revenue function with respect to quantity. Okay, you will see numerical example in next slide, but just think this is my marginal revenue and this is my first derivative of total revenue function with respect to quantity. And same for marginal cost. If I take total cost function derivation with respect to quantity, it will give my marginal cost. And here, look at these graphs. The left-hand side is my demand, supply, and price. And right-hand side is giving marginal cost, average total cost, average variable cost, and demand function. Okay, here is the demand function. And. Please, until here, if you don't memorize something, please memorize this verb, this sentence. A company always produce a product where it is marginal cost equals marginal revenue. Okay. Do you see marginal revenue here? This is my marginal revenue function here. What is my marginal cost? This is my marginal cost. And when it is crossed with marginal revenue, exactly here. So I will produce here. My marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Companies always produce, firms always produce when marginal cost equals marginal revenue. Okay. So let's go here. This is with my handwriting. To write it here a little bit hard. This is my handwriting solution. Please, let's investigate this side. This is my marginal cost. This is my marginal revenue functions for alternative decision. And this is my average variable cost and average total cost. Please look at this. The above is showing for a competitive firms different level of production decision. In all point A, B, C, please look at this A, B, and C. We have marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Marginal cost cross these marginal revenues in A, B, and C. Okay, so you should always focus on first. Marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Okay, this is your priority. And at point A, please look at here. Marginal revenue equals marginal cost, and average revenue is greater than average cost. So I should first look at this. Is this equal? Yes. So look at what is average revenue and average cost. Average revenue is greater than average cost. So above this line, I have always positive profits. Always positive profit and continue my production process. I will produce until infinity. Okay, because I'm always getting positive profit. At point B, look at it here. At point B, I'm looking at marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Yes, but average revenue equals average cost. So this is the break-even point to get profit. So above B, I will always get positive profit. I will always get positive profit above B. So B is called break-even point to get profit or get loss. And C, marginal revenue again equals marginal cost, but average revenue equals average variable cost. Hence, below every point of C, firm will get negative profit, means loss. Every unit bearing cost and loss to you. You will never produce anymore. So C is called as shutdown. Below C, nobody, no consumer, no firm will alive. It is the shutdown. Okay? These points are important. And please look at this graph. Okay, please look at this graph now. This graph is saying us what is our initial condition? What I memorized 2 minutes ago. I memorized marginal cost should equal my marginal revenue. But here in this graph, marginal cost equals marginal revenue at 2 points, A and B. In this 2 point, marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Look at it. The equilibrium always occurs when marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Why point B is the equilibrium but not point A? Why? This is also marginal revenue equals marginal cost. A also satisfies this condition. Why A is not an equilibrium but B? Because Please look at this sentence. Firm can increase its profit by changing its production from Q1 to Q2. So, ladies and gentlemen, my priority for marginal revenue and marginal cost is this. Marginal revenue should be always equals to marginal cost, but please look at this sentence. When should I get the equilibrium? Marginal cost function should be always in increasing side. So I can increase my production until B. So from here A to B, I can increase my production and get an equilibrium in B. But after B, no. After B, marginal cost above the marginal revenue. So I will always get loss. Okay. The top point I can produce is B. And this is the most profitable point. Okay. So A and B always hold marginal revenue equals marginal cost, but marginal cost is decreasing here. So if marginal cost is decreasing, I can proceed, I can continue my production. But until B, I can produce. After B, I never produce. It will always create a loss for me. And the last part, and a little bit, maybe for some of you, it is a little bit exciting part. Some of you, it is the most boring part for you because it is math. Okay. Let's give a numeric example, not like A, B, C, D. Let's say if the demand for an ice cream in the market represent with this demand function. So price is equals to 12 minus 3 times quantity. And the supply defines as P equals 2 plus 2 quantity. Then let's try to find the answer for this question. What is the equilibrium price and quantity for ice cream in this perfect competition? What is the producer and consumer surplus in this market? If government imposed a $1 tax on 1 unit of ice cream, now what will be the equilibrium of price and quantity? After a tax on ice cream, what happened to consumer and producer surplus? Which one is better off? Which one is worse off? Okay, let's try to find the answer of this. And this is our boring part, a little bit math part. This is again my handwriting, okay, as a doctor. You know, the demand is this, right? Demand is this function. And supply is this function. What we say a few minutes ago, demand always equals supply, okay, for the price and equilibrium quantity. So if the demand, this one, equals to this one, I can easily solve this function. I can put this 2 here and minus 3 quantity here. 5 quantity equals 10. Then the quantity equals 2 in this market. Okay, quantity will be 2. And if I put this quantity 2 here in first equation or in second, it will never change. If I put it here, 12 minus 3 times 2, 12 minus 6 equals 6, or 2 plus 2 times 2, it is again 6. So price is 6. So if I draw my equation here, this is my demand function, this is my supply function, and this is my equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. 2 is the quantity I consume, price is $6, and this is supply and this is demand. This is the equilibrium. So what is the consumer surplus here? What we said, consumer surplus is the highest price that I can pay for the ice cream. This is 12, as you see. And the area between the equilibrium price, the shaded area of here, this triangle, okay, will give the consumer surplus. So this gap, this distance is 6, this distance is 2, 6 times 2 over 2, this is the area of the triangle. This will give my producer surplus is 6. And what about consumer surplus? We say that the minimum price What is the equilibrium price? 6. The minimum price of a seller of the ice cream can sell this ice cream for $2 and equilibrium is $6. So by selling this ice cream, he will get 4 times 2 over 2 equals 4. So this is our total surplus, producer surplus. So here I have 6 consumer surplus, 4 producer surplus, and total surplus in this market is 6 plus 4 equals 10. Put this in left-hand side. Okay, total surplus in here. And what happened? What happened now? If government put a $1 tax on ice cream, then it will make cost function or supply function like this. Look at this supply function, please. Here. Okay. And I am putting here $1 tax to this supply function. And my new supply function is become like this. This is the older supply function, initial supply function. And this is my new supply function. Okay. And what I say, always demand equals supply. So if this is my new supply and if this is my demand, my new equilibrium is here. So this will be my quantity and price in equilibrium. Look at it here. So, ladies and gentlemen, initial equilibrium, quantity 2, price is 6. But when government put a $1 tax, supply decreasing, supply shift left, price increasing to 8.2, and I am consuming less ice cream because its price is increasing because of the taxes. And now new quantity is 1.6. Okay. So at the new equilibrium, look at it here. At the new equilibrium, consumer surplus is this. Consumer surplus is defined as the area of this rectangle, right? Here, consumer surplus is this. The gap between 12 and 7.2 and this rectangle area. So 4.8 times 1 plus 2 over 2. What is my new rectangle? This one. What is my initial consumer surplus? Is this one. So if the tax put on a product, consumer surplus will decreasing. Why? Because consumer is less consuming. Because of the price increase, because of the taxes, they are decreasing less and their surplus is decreasing. Their welfare is decreasing because of the taxes. And producer surplus, shockingly, here we have new line. Here I have this line. And this will be my producer surplus. What does it mean? This is the area. 7.2 minus 4, okay, times 1.6 over 2. This is here. And shockingly, you are supposing that if the consumer surplus is decreasing, producer will get more profit on it. No. Why? Because producer is not putting that cost. Government is putting that cost. So both consumer surplus and producer surplus is decreasing. Consumer plus decrease to this number from here. Consumer is worse off. And producer, wait. And producer surplus decreased to 2.56 from 4. So is there anybody who can give me the answer? So if I put a tax, the price is increasing. Both producer worse off and consumer worse off. Who is better off? The government. Government collect that tax revenue as this amount, and he is the only better off in this strategy. Okay. Consumer decreasing their welfare, producer decreasing welfare. They are transferring their welfare to the government because of this tax putting on that product. Okay. So all in all, today I know the last part, this mathematical part, sometimes mixing mind of the people, but without math, you will never understand anything in economics. Economics is not management. Economics is not a psychology class. Economics is exactly math. This is basic math. But from now on, let me try to explain what we learned. We learned what is perfect competition and what is their assumption. If I see a market, how can I decide this is perfect competition, oligopoly, monopoly, or something else? And let's say if the demand and supply condition occurs in perfect competition, what is my priority? How I decide the equilibrium price and quantity in perfect competition? What is my condition to hold in that function? First, demand should be equal to supply. Second, marginal revenue always equals to marginal cost. Please look at the slides and look at where the company continue its production process, where they have knife edge condition, break-even condition for the production process, and at last, where they shut down their company. And when I have given an example in exams, in country, in tutoring, in exam, professor generally asks the question in numerical exam, and here are example for the price and supply condition, demand and supply condition, equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity, producer surplus, producer consumer surplus, and if I put a tax on it, what will happen? So nice to meet you again for all the team members. And I know maybe lots of these topics weird to you, but I'm sure as we get the process, as we get multifunctional thinking way, you will understand these problems and even ask question how this has happened and is there a possibility to happen this.
All right. I am really delighted, very, very impressed, Dr. Abdulkadir Dogan, by your awesome presentation. And I believe that this is the statement we stand by all our participants. They too must be very happy with everything that you've done during that presentation, during that class, world-class presentation, so to speak. My personal take on everything that you've said so far, Dr. Dogan, is really nothing could be clearer, more pragmatic, or more precise to the point than that presentation that you've done for our students and alumni of Atlantic International University. We don't understand, like you have stated, there was a humongous web of technical terms, including the math equations, which you admitted could be a little hard. I would not at all use the term boring because information cannot be boring. Of course, the technical terms that you've used might have been a little confusing, but they simply, to me, made room for our participants to go further and do some research about anything that they could not understand. Especially one critical aspect of your presentation that I really loved was that you took the time to elaborate on each of those difficult terms, including multiple illustrations and case studies that you've used to allow everyone to imagine himself or herself in each scenario. That presentation was just outstanding, Dr. Abdulkadir Dogan, but I don't want to do any further comments because this is intended for our participants, our students, our alumni. So we are making room for you, ladies and gentlemen, at this time to raise questions, issues, or make comments. We don't have too much time left, but yes, this is now your opportunity. Going first to Emmanuel Orure. Emmanuel Orure, you have the floor at this time for your question.
All right, thank you for the presentation. So I hear you that once the government increase tax, the supplier or the company produces less, demand also drops. So the government is the one benefiting from the whole chain. So what I think is that also leads to kind of drop in the economy of the country. So if that is the case, why do governments always increase taxes? Why don't they want to improve the economy? Why increase tax? That slows down the whole business. So just thinking loud.
Okay, let me explain. Thanks for your question, Emmanuel. By the way, could you repeat the question a little bit, getting your microphone a little bit closer, because voice is a little bit blurred.
Okay, fine. So let me make it clear now. I said that in the instance where government increase tax on a particular goods, so that means the producer will not produce less, the consumers will also demand less. And so that slows down the economy of the country. So if that is the case, why do governments increase taxes on goods?
Perfect. Perfect.
I'm
Perfect.
sorry to interject something real quick, Dr. Dogan. The question being raised by Emmanuel is very identical to another one which was on the chat line made by Diazumbe Daniel. The question that he asked, which is, as I said again, very similar to the one from Emmanuel, is what is the role of the state and the final consumer in the perfect competitive market?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Perfect question. Perfect question. I really thanks for this type of question, because when you think in this way, you will start to understand the economic thinking way. Okay, the economic thinking way. First of all, you are saying that if the producer will produce less and if consumer consume less, why the government, if both is getting worse off, why the government putting a tax on it? This will decrease production. This will decrease welfare. Sometimes, first think this. Let me ask this question to you. Why the amount is here for the taxes is $1? Why the government, for instance, let's say in your country, you are getting a car, it is $30,000 and the tax on it is $5,000. Why government doesn't increase the tax on it for the $25,000? Because he will get revenue, huge revenue. Why it is not increasing at that amount? The answer is, look at the Lucas curve. Okay, let me basically share my screen. Hang on a sec, your answer is coming. Hang on a sec.
Want to remind everybody that you are with Atlantic International University for a live class session, and the presentation is being made at this time by Dr. Abdulkadir Dogan. He is in the process of showing portion of his document in response to a question raised by one of our participants. Again, thank you everybody for your decision to join us for this class session.
Okay, please, Emmanuel and team, look at this Laffer curve. Okay, Laffer curve. What this curve is saying to you, do you know? If government increase the tax rate until one point, it will increase its tax revenue, but it will reach the highest maximum level in here. Then even if the government increase tax rate, he will get less revenue. Why? Because everybody, every consumer, every producer has a capability to pay taxes on it, and government know this condition, man and woman. Okay, government will always know until where producer and consumer pay these taxes, and he should increase. Why? So when I come to you directly to your question, what is your question? Why, if they are worse off, why this government putting this taxes? Because government has a budget, men and women, and this budget has tax revenue and government expenditure. This is my revenue, collection of taxes, okay, and this is my expenditure. In your country, you are taking an electricity services, you are taking internal services. If government doesn't put tax on ice cream, telecommunication, your car, even your glass, even your drink of water, you will not get any services from the government in infrastructure. You will not find a way to go to mountains because they will not open any way. They need money to open those ways. So you are financing the government and they need money, but they should be careful by putting the tax rate. If they put tax instead of $1, if they put $5 on tax, you will make tax evasion. You will not pay tax. You will make tax evasion. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Any comments? Anybody else have a question?
Although we are about to run out of time, I thank you very much for your response, Dr. Dogan. Our goal at NIU is to create full satisfaction for our students. We will allow a little more time for questions being raised. We do have 2 hands up this time, but let me quickly ask Dr. Dogan to address a question brought up by Patrick Tucker on the chat line. He is asking, what is basic assumption regarding elasticity of demand and supply, if you will, Dr. Dogan?
I will explain. I want to be patient, all participants during this semester until June, because we are now enter the market and we are just a newborn baby. We are just trying to learn how to drink milk. If you try to run without knowing the walking, you will get bored, you will mix, and you will confuse. The elasticity, price elasticity will come in the next chapters, and you will understand how the elasticity is perfect elasticity, and those are changing. In next chapters, I will shorten slides. I will give 10-15 minutes for question and answering side.
Wonderful. Lambai, your question, please, or your comment?
Hello, Doc, can you hear me?
Very
Yes.
well.
Okay, my question is goes like this. When we see in economics, like around the world, so most of the country using dollars. So the currency goes with dollars. If dollars, maybe let me give an example. $1 could be maybe 15 rands. Like I'm giving an example of rands and dollars. So and then in the markets, you can see the things goes high. What makes dollars to increase that's inflections? What caused the inflections of dollars to impacting the economic or in the marketing as well? So I just want to know why caused that. What caused that?
Okay.
Thank you.
Could you repeat? Because of the internet connection, maybe sometimes you are freezing. Could you repeat in one sentence your question?
What I'm saying is that inflection of dollars. So you see, like dollars are more like most of the countries, like in Africa and other places, so they're using dollars like in their economy. So if dollars goes high and their money, their money goes like it gets like small, like $1 could be maybe 15 rand. In other countries, it's gonna be more than that. So that is impacting in the economic or in the marketing, in the finance of other people. So what cause of that inflections of currency, you see? That was my question.
Okay, perfect question. But I think this is not the question for this slides and for this course, because as I said, I'm an ex-central banker. I'm macroeconomist in investment banking. Your question is directly about the macroeconomics, not microeconomics, but macroeconomics. And if I answer this with one sentence,
Yes.
I can serve here multifunctionally. Even you can ask regression model econometrics to me. But for your question, let's say why this currency, for instance, why $1 equals 120 Japanese yen, but $1 is equals to 0.99 euro. Okay, what is the reason behind this? This is the basic reason about the trade, man. Okay, trade.
Okay.
Terms of trade. So just think this: you are trading with you are in space only two countries. Okay, US and Canada. Okay, US and Canada, no other country. And you are selling one good, and always Canada importing from United States but not selling anything to United States. So if Canada doesn't sell anything to United States but buying everything from the United States, Canadian citizen need United States dollar to buy those products. To buy those products, you need United States dollar. Every day you demand more United States dollar. So one Canadian dollar today, one US dollar, next day 0.9, next day 0.8, because every time you need more. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Lombaye. Thank you, Dr. Dogan. Let's turn the floor now to Acacio Edun Guema. Go ahead, Acacio.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks.
My simple question is, we realize that some government use the policy and use the policy to subvention the oil price, depending on the economic situation of the country. For example, if we realize that the population may suffer if people pay the fuel, the gasoil with high price, like $1-2 by liter, $3 by liter, and the government decided to subvention more than 60% out of that price. And my preoccupation, if the consumer do not contribute more, are dependent on the moment and the equilibrium that is not a standard in the market, that may affect the economy of the country or not, if the consumer did not adit some tax to aid the government, yes, to have the government pay the difference that may coming from the highest price and the market oil.
Yes.
Okay, I got the question. Thanks a lot. Excellent question. I really like this team because they are wondering everything, but they are a little bit impatient because I don't know the team what knows. This is our first meeting. And I just try to introduce our team, demand, supply, price dynamics. In my mind, the next chapter will be followed as like this. Second chapter will be elasticity of the demand, price, and supply. The third one is the government intervention. tax, subsidy, price ceiling, price flooring. Fourth function will be the monopoly. Fifth function will be the production cost. So about your subsidy, the details will come in next chapters, but for your question, you will directly should know this. If the economy has an increasing price, and if the consumer always getting loss, consumer surplus is decreasing because of the increasing of price. Think this is demand. This is my consumer surplus. As the price increase, my consumer surplus in this area decreasing. So government intervening. What is he doing? Tax is decreasing supply on left-hand side, subsidy increasing supply on the right-hand side, meaning decreasing the prices. So government has a social function to increase the welfare of their society. So if their society does not have a capability to consume some goods, they intervene in the market with subsidy or decreasing the tax or increasing the subsidy, decreasing prices and increasing consumer surplus.
That is very perfectly said. Let's address
Okay,
one more question before we wrap up this session. I'm happy to know that Dr. Dogan will present some other sessions on the issue of economics, different ramifications and sides of it. And your questions will certainly be taken care of at the right time. But let's take a little more time to have Dr. Dogan address this last topic being brought up by Steve Calpe. He is asking, why are the Feds choosing to increase the base rate 9 times? I'm not sure exactly what country Steve is referring to. Why are the Fed choosing to increase the base rate 9 times? Employment is 3.7%, and the economy is improving. That is the question by Steve, Dr. Dogan.
Let me share something with you. Hang on a sec, please.
All right. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the entire recording will be made available to you. It will be either on your student portal, or you will soon receive an email with a link to download the entire presentation. It is going to be so for previous webinars and live class sessions as well, so you will not miss out at all. Dr. Dogan.
Hang on a sec.
All right. The whole topic, ladies and gentlemen, is about creating some type of balance between supply and demand, since the equilibrium is ensured or guaranteed when supply and demand are equally balanced out. We have the...
Everybody is here?
Yes.
Please look at the date.
Yes.
Please look at the name. Okay, this is macro note for February inflation in Turkey. Why CPI rises here monthly and and all analysis. So if I try to give an explanation just for this question, I should take 3 hours course just for answering that question. But the basic implication of this is this. I really like the question style, but lots of coming macroeconomics. Before learning microeconomics, making comments on macroeconomics is a little bit weird. Okay, please first think this. But what should you know about why I worked for central bank in 9 years? Okay. Why central bank increase policy rates? Why they are decreasing policy rate? This is a directly macroeconomic topics, but the answer is this. Inflation, the Milton Friedman, the monetary economist, saying that inflation is always and everywhere a monetary phenomenon. Monetary phenomenon, what does it mean? if the money supply, money increase in the market, the inflation will go up. Okay, think this. Money increasing in the market, inflation will go up. Why? Because you have lots of money to spend and you are getting that money, you are consuming more, and producer increasing their prices because demand is increasing in the market. Okay, so what is interest rate? Interest rate is the price of money. Okay, price of money is the called as interest rate. So if you have lots of money, if you have lots of money at your pocket, if you have lots of money at your pocket, you can increase your demand, the inflation will go up. So all around the world, what is the central bank doing today? They are fighting with inflation. So to fight with inflation, you should decrease your money supply. You should decrease your asset purchases program, quantitative easing, no mortgage-backed securities, no asset-backed securities buying from the market. During the COVID crisis, Fed every month take $40 billion asset-based and mortgage-backed securities from the market and give the dollar. Those dollars goes to the household, they have money, they increase demand and inflation go up. But Fed want to fight with inflation, so it should decrease the amount of money in the market. What is the interest rate? Interest rate is the price of money. So if you increase the interest rate, nobody will borrow that money. Nobody will consume that money. And if those people and household doesn't consume, demand will decrease and inflation will decrease. Okay?
Thank you again. It's been a long time that I haven't seen or heard of anyone with this level, this high level of knowledge on a given topic. Dr. Abdulkadir Dogan, you've been just outstanding. I'm speechless to describe the level of clarity, dexterity, precision, everything positive in between that you've used to make this presentation for our family at Atlantic International University. I am very, very grateful to you on behalf of the entire institution, and I believe that our participants are of the same idea or the same thinking. I want to thank you very much, Dr. Dogan, and I want to express again my gratitude and happiness that you will be available for several other sessions on this topic. Let me also remind the participants that the entire session has been recorded, and the recording will soon be sent to you through a link which will allow you to download the presentation. And that will also include a little test. If you choose to take the test and you pass the test, you will also earn academic credit. The presentation from Dr. Dogan is very, very high level. It's very competitive, regardless of other institution we are talking about, whether that is Harvard, Yale, all the 9 miles of what they call the prestigious institution, the so-called prestigious institution. No matter where you go, that class of Dr. Dogan will just stand out very, very well. So I want to thank you once more, Dr. Dogan. It's been very awesome. And on that note, I am putting an end to this class session, unless Dr. Dogan wants to conclude with some type of final remarks. The floor is yours, Dr. Dogan, if you want to make those remarks, please.
Thanks a lot for your all comments. I'm seeing here the message, and I want to thank all the attendants here. As I said, for next slides, for next chapters, we will go to multidimensional. I don't want to make a cheap comment on myself, because sometimes people exaggerating themselves. I don't want to say exaggerate myself. This is not a good behavior, but to find a person at the same time knowing microeconomics, microeconomics, financial market, and econometrics forecasting methodology is not easy. So we can ask and feed each other in the long run during semester in multi-dimensional way. So I think at the end of the semester, everybody understand lots of topics in economics.
Thank you
Thanks
once
for
again.
all your comments.